Lean on Me by Serge Joncour, published by Gallic Books, and beautifully translated by Jane Aitken and Louise Lalaurie. We've chosen it to be our book of the month, October 2022, because it is a beautifully told story of two adults who happened serendipitously to meet in the central courtyard of their apartment block, and it is set in Paris and it feels very Parisian. This is the gently told story of Ludovic and Aurore, who live in the same apartment block but on different staircases. So in their central courtyard they have trees, and in those trees there is a murder of crows. They're newly arrived, and they have dispersed all the native birds that have lived hitherto in those trees. And at first their paths cross, they're not particularly drawn to each other, but once they find a sort of common discussion point about the birds, then they tend to, almost go out of their way to meet each other. And then when Aurore suffers a boiler event in her house, he comes to the rescue and sorts everything out. And their friendship then has an easier course somehow for them to actually kind of enjoy being together. Now, Aurore is married. Her husband seems to be climbing the greasy pole of big business, and they have a couple of children, and she's not altogether happy, neither is her husband. So I guess inevitably she is drawn to this large man who lives opposite her apartment. He himself is a debt collector, and we see him visiting some of his clients, and he's not just a hard-nosed man who goes to collect money. He has time for people, and there is wry humour. He lost his wife several years ago, and he's also left behind the family farm because, they were scraping together a living, and he decided he could probably do a better job for himself and for his family to actually go and live in Paris and leave his siblings to run the farm, because, there's hardly any money in farming these days. And so he just ploughs his own furrow, and here he is in Paris. I think what I loved about this book was that it is an easily told story. It is relatable. The translation is really, really very good. So, the pages pass, you read it. There are one or two hiatuses and some surprises along the way. But this is a story about just people who are looking for something in life, people who want to love others, who want to find love for themselves. And I really enjoyed this. So if you're looking for something that will be uplifting in many ways, then Lean on Me by Serge Joncour is a lovely book to pick up.